Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1.
Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Hump Day edition of the JP Peterson Show. Here we go. We got lots to get to today. Thank you so much for joining us here on our JP Peterson Show, your independent media voice here in the Tampa Bay area. Thanks so much for being a part of it. Welcome into all the Petermans. Please leave your comments in the comment section there. We will get to them momentarily. We are awaiting the appearance of one Dave Randorf, Lightning play-by-play man, who will join us here momentarily. Talk a little Lightning. Is big weekend coming up. We got 3 games in 4 days, so the Lightning return home, desperately in need of some points. So we'll hear from Dave Randorf in just a little bit. We'll talk some Buccaneers, obviously. This is a critical time for Tampa Bay as they go to New Orleans this weekend. So we'll get to all the machinations of injuries, possible trades. Max Crosby going to the Cowboys? No. Going to the Bucs? No. Maybe. Who knows? Lots of candidates, so we shall see. So we'll get to all that. Good morning to you, IndyCar Tim. How are you in our Dallas affiliate?
Good morning, and when we do talk some Max Crosby to wherever or anywhere, I got a little bit of inside information, JP.
Oh, do you now?
As I was down hanging around the Star last night, well, yesterday afternoon.
Oh, drinking in the bars at the Star. It's where you get all your info.
And maybe making my way through the so the the Cowboys have a public workout facility, that you can buy memberships to, like a gym, connected to their private workout facility. And you get players kind of walking through there and coaches, working out, and occasionally they'll stroll over into the public area where you can pay your $1,200 a month membership fee to be part of the Cowboys workout club and work out with the Cowboys. So anyway, might have overheard some coach talk yesterday. About
really?
It was intentional. They don't go to public places and talk about private things, but
of course,
about maybe what's going on with Max Crosby.
Yeah. All right. While we await Mr. Randorf, we will dive into that a little bit. There's no question to me that if there is a deal to be done, at what position, there's 2 positions that the Bucs I think need to make a move, and that would be inside linebacker. Maybe try to find a veteran there. I was watching the All 22 last night, and Vasilevskiy Dennis has made a couple of plays, but boy, the plays that he has not made have really, really stood out. They're chunk plays, and they're pretty similar. It kind of looks like the old days when Devin White was playing, and they would pick on him, and they'd know right at third down. There was a critical play in the game in the fourth quarter where they needed it was 3rd and 7, I believe it was, and or second and 7, and this is the great part of the chess match. It really, you could see this going back and forth. Bowles sends a blitz inside, sends Voss inside, and you can see him trying to just disguise the blitz coming inside. And Levante David is they send a tight end in motion, so David goes with him. So they know that Voss and they check out of the play. The Detroit checks out of the play. Goff checks out of the play. When Voss is almost all the way up into the A gap, and they go to this play where they get Sewell out in the front and Gibbs in the flat, and they basically pick. It looks like Voss was, and it might have been Levante. Maybe Levante was supposed to switch on to Voss because he was the onside linebacker there. I don't know, but either way, it was a great call, and the Lions were ready for that blitz, and they caught him, and they gashed him for 30 yards, and that was at a critical time. And they ran that play 3 times, and they probably averaged about 30 yards on every one of those plays. And when you talk about the chess match and listen, a couple of bowls, his blitz got home in key situations. So he won the chess match there. In that situation, they won it. And they got Gibbs out in open space, and Voss is trying to get out there to the flat. He's got no chance. So, and that's the way it goes. And that's football. And that's what wins and loses games in this league. That's why calling plays defensively and offensively is so huge. Having your team prepared for those particular situations. Oh, he likes to run this particular blitz here. How do you take advantage of that? This is the play you use. We check to it. The Bucs have done a great job of that. Baker Mayfield does a fantastic job of getting into the right play. It is such a critical part of football, and that's why you can have different matchups, and you can look at storylines before the game, which we did, and And we said, whoa, look at all the injuries in their secondary. Okay, well, if you're the Lions, how are you going to cover that up? We have to come up with a ferocious pass rush and make Baker uncomfortable and make sure he doesn't have time to throw against our porous defense, which wasn't so porous, by the way. Those guys played their ass off. And I think there was also a measure of, listen, we're going to clutch and we're going to grab, but we'll take holding penalties and everything. We're just not going to get beat deep. We're not going to get beat. And they did a lot of that, and they got away with a lot of it, frankly. And that's great coaching. That's what you do. And if they're calling it seems like they're calling every illegal contact on the Buccaneers. The 2 illegal contact calls on Dean and Parrish were huge calls that kept drives alive, and they were bullshit calls, just absolute horseshit calls. But what are you going to do? It must be so frustrating for these players to work so hard every week and play exactly the way they're supposed to play. And it's completely arbitrary when the guys are going to throw the flags, because there's contact downfield on every play. If you're an offensive player, and there was one particular, I think it was the one on Dean, the offensive player is initiating the contact downfield. I mean, and if the ref looks up and says, "Oh, the defensive player is in contact further than," you can throw a flag. And these receivers know this, and they run into them in order to create space going the other way. What's the defensive player supposed to do? Run away from him? If the offensive player is initiating the contact, it is not illegal contact. The defensive player has to be initiating the contact and keeping that player from getting to the spot he wants to get to. That's what the penalty is. It's just not contact down the field, because the offensive guys can initiate that all night, and they did, and they got 2 calls.
And the only time I've really seen the last couple of years, JP, when they call OPI on a receiver or a tight end or whoever, is when they push off.
Yeah.
When you see a blatant push off, an extension of the arms is what they look for.
Right.
They will call offensive pass interference. But if it's just Jimmy jacking down the field and you're slapping each other on the wrist and trying to, half the time, if that's a penalty, it's on the defense, even though the offensive player is initiating the call, the contact.
Right. Yeah. I don't know what those calls are based on, because it's clear to me that the offense is initiating it. But I don't want to sit here and bitch all about officiating. No. We did a lot about that yesterday, but there was part of the game that's a chess match. And listen, when you look at inside linebacker, Voss he looks a little lost at this point, and they're taking advantage of him. There's no question about that. So do you go out and get a veteran who's been through the wars and knows all these? And I'm not saying everything that happens here is on Voss. It's not. A lot of guys were making mistakes and falling down. But these particular ones, the big plays, it was pretty clear this was a big part of their game plan. So inside linebacker and edge rusher, we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go through the show. But at this point, we got to welcome in the play-by-play voice of your Tampa Bay Lightning and the biggest Toronto Blue Jays fan you will find. There it is. I was hoping we'd see that hat.
How about that?
The great Dave Randorf. What's up, partner? How are you?
I'm still riding a big high from the big victory the other night. It was let me just put my screen over here so I can see what I'm doing here. Yeah, I mean, as we all know, baseball has a special connection, unlike probably other pro sports, for many reasons. And for me, this goes back to my grandfather taking me to a game, the very first Jays season, back at Exhibition Stadium. It snowed on their very first game. I don't know if you know that.
No, I did not.
Yeah, they had snow, and they got 2 home runs from a guy named Doug Alt, and they won.
I remember him. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. I didn't go to that game, but I do have the Toronto Star. I still to this day have the Toronto Star front page cover of the headline that the Jays were born and all that kind of stuff in the snow. So anyway, this goes way back. My sons and I share a love for this team, and when George Springer hit that 3-run home run in the 7th inning, it was there was a lot of noise in my house, that's for sure.
Well, we got a little treat for you here. Timmy
yeah?
has cooked up. Enjoy this.
Fly ball, left field, Arozarena, watches it go!
Thoughts, emotions?
Yeah, place. So,
look at that place. Oh, my.
Yeah. And it makes it a little sweeter because the guy that caught it was wearing a George Springer Blue Jays jersey.
Oh, was he?
I've gone back and looked at all the calls, all the different, because of course when it happened, I was screaming my head off. I didn't hear any of the calls. That's a great call there. Great call there by Joe Davis. But I made a trip up to go watch Game 2 against the Yankees in the previous series, and one of my sons and I went to that game. We saw the Vladimir Guerrero grand slam, and that was loud, and the roof was open that day. It was a beautiful Sunday afternoon. And I said to everybody, I can't imagine how much louder it would have been had the roof been closed. And two of my sons were at that game the other night, and they said, you wouldn't have believed it. It was
my God,
such a roar. And those are moments that, listen, I know there's primarily Rays fans around here. We are in the division and all that kind of stuff, but I think they can even appreciate, what I'm feeling, what Jays fans are feeling today.
Oh, God, yes.
It's you get it. So, I'm looking forward to World Series. We'll see. Obviously, know what we're up against, but hey, it's been a great ride. It's been a very enjoyable season.
To your point, baseball has a special emotional attachment. Especially you're talking about grandfather, fathers, sons across generations, and a moment like that, the Mariners are 8 outs away from their first ever World Series. So your heart kind of pulls for them a little bit. And then you see this home run in this situation. And I mean, there's very few that'll match that in franchise history, any franchise history. They are special, ultra special moments. And it's a mess. So across, and it doesn't matter who you root for. I mean, if you're a Rays fan, we can share in your joy. We've had moments like that, so it's cool, and we hopefully we will again. But just reiterates that baseball is so special in that way, but so is hockey. And those you've called those moments. You've called those moments. What's the difference between calling it, especially for a team that you work for, and winning a championship, and also, and I know that you weren't on the actual broadcast call, but you've obviously called some of these games for the Lightning. I mean, what is that like when you're in that moment and as a fan, as opposed to a broadcaster?
Well, I think as a fan, you could certainly let yourself go a whole lot more. I would not scream and yell and jump around in the play-by-play booth like I did.
Why not? Michigan does. Why not?
Yes, that's true. He does. And then he brings it right back down. So, but at the same time, it's slightly different, but it's interesting you bring that up. What's the difference between, say, being a quote-unquote national broadcaster, which is what I was prior to coming here to Tampa Bay. And while I had I'm not going to pretend I had no great affiliation for the Lightning. I certainly had respect and had paid attention and seen the Lightning over the years and that build towards the back-to-back cups. But, it's interesting how quickly, it starts to ingrain itself in you. And you're around these people all the time. Last night we had a wonderful, amazing season opening party with the entire staff and players, and you get to know everybody, and you get to know them off the ice, and everybody I'm talking about, from the owners on down. And it is different. And you bring up the that home run right there. I'm pretty sure a lot of your viewers and listeners will be familiar with the name Dan Shulman. A great play-by-play announcer who did a lot of work for ESPN for years on baseball and college basketball. And he left ESPN because the opportunity was there for him to become the main television voice of his hometown Toronto Blue Jays. He was doing some games here and there, but he was splitting it because he had a lot of work in the U.S. But he finally cut the cord because he wanted his heartstrings pulled at him, and he got to call that moment last night. And he will get to, it's on Canadian television on the channel called Sportsnet, which I used to work for. And people just love the fact that they've got one of their own calling these games. No offense to Joe Davis or any of the great American play-by-play men. it's just, as you know, it's just not the same. It's like when Rick Beckham wasn't around, or maybe even to this point, if I'm not calling a Lightning game.
Yes,
I get it, because I'm the same way. I want to hear my guys too. So that's a cool feeling for you as the play-by-play broadcaster, to know that you've got that connection. You're constantly building that connection. And when you get a moment like that, that's when that connection with the fans.
Yes.
That's what it cements itself. You just hope you nail it on the moment.
Yeah. and you do. All right, let's talk a little bit about this team. Yeah. Boy, what a rough start. 1 win in 6 games. Not exactly the way we thought this team would start, but it's not the end of the season. Obviously, there's a long way to go. But just in terms of, I think they're 30th out of 32 teams in shots taken, which is a little bit of a surprise for the Lightning. Never been a super high volume shot, but this is ridiculous at times. The shots taken. What's going on with that you see?
Well, as you know, there's a difference between a shot on goal and a scoring chance, right? So you can't. But at the same time, then you look at these numbers, and it's alarming for sure. Yeah. The fact that they have not been able to sustain offensive pressure. Yes, they've had some zone time, but they've been kept to the outside largely, from what I've seen. I just, it's funny, you were there, I'm sure. Well, you would have been there, of course, on opening night against the Ottawa Senators. Lightning jumped out to a 3-0 lead, and we all went, well, this is what it was supposed to look like. Every prediction you read had across the NHL had the Lightning being one of the elite teams, and you had an upstart division rival coming in, and they were going to, lay down the law right off the bat, and they did. And then the second period started. So they lost that game, and ever since then, JP, everything has been a struggle. For this team. Even their lone win in Boston, that was a struggle. If you remember, was it? Brandon make a save at an empty net on Pastrnak to prevent them from tying it up. Pastrnak was the other way around. But bottom line is, it's been a struggle. So I don't really have a good explanation other than the fact that their efficiency and execution, in my mind, has been down. Their passes are missing. Their sustained pressure is not there. Ryan McDonough, I thought, put it well the other night when he said that, great. We made a great push in the third period in Detroit on Friday, and another big, strong stand in Columbus on Saturday night in the third period. We've got to start doing this for 60 minutes. Right. They've got to start getting back to the way they used to play for 60. The mantra amongst the ranks for years, certainly since I've been here, is trust the process. So I think that's what they have to do right now. Yesterday was a very high-tempo, fast-paced practice. It was also very physical. They did a lot of small-spaced battle drills, which I think always jars the group back to attention, gets you back to basics, gets the compete level up, gets the blood flowing, and snaps everybody to attention that this isn't good enough. This is, you just said it. Every time I hear it, I kind of shake my head. 1 win in 6 games? If you look at the standings, it's a weird sight. They are dead last in the Eastern Conference and 31st in the NHL. And I know a couple teams have played a couple more games, but this is not the Lightning. And they've got so much more to give, and I've got no doubt in my mind they will get some traction. But the reality is, you can't ignore the fact that there's a hole now. There's a hole you need to dig out of here. There's a lot of good teams in front of them. And we need to see a stretch of 700 hockey for a while here to get you back to where you expect to be. That's the reality of it. Can they do it? Yes. This is a very prepared coaching staff, and I've seen them right the ship many times already when you think that they were going to slide off into the abyss here. But I guess the difference here is that we rarely see this out of the gate, a dip like this. So, everybody's got a condensed, hard, busy schedule, JP. Everybody's got a crazy schedule. And they've had one too. 6 games in 10 days, 4 of them on the road, 2 back-to-backs. That's tough. But the reality is, the other teams are going, cry me a river. That's nobody cares. And the Lightning are going to have to dig themselves out of it, and they can.
Dave Randorf joining us here, play-by-play man, Scripps TV now, which, by the way, has looked fantastic. You guys are doing a great job. Seamless, it seems, and now so many more people can get it, and I've heard a lot of positive feedback, so that's been a great development for the Lightning. Now we just need to get a better show on the ice, which it's not your fault. But some moves made, and I think everybody was like, Connor Geeky? Whoa, wait a minute. What's going on here? But I think there's a little bit more to the story. I don't necessarily think they're very disappointed in what he's doing necessarily, or is this just a numbers game where maybe he needs to get more time? He's not a fourth line guy, and they just don't have top 6 spot for him or even third line that's going. So what try to explain this situation as to why this is not such a horrible thing. And the Lightning certainly aren't giving up on Connor Geeky.
No, not at all. I think you summed it up right there, and I'll get to that in a second. I think we all have to take a step back and remember this time last year when he made the team, that was a surprise. That was way ahead of schedule. He was not supposed to make that team out of camp. He impressed. He won a job. He played for the first, 3+ months, and then he hit a wall. And that's what happens when you're 20 years old in the NHL. Yeah. You're coming straight out of the Western Hockey League, junior hockey. You played basically no pro hockey at that point. And they sent him back last year at that point in time. He got his confidence back and came back for a few more games in the regular season and the playoffs. And you could make the case that he was one of their better players in that first round against Florida.
Yep.
He got his confidence back, got his swagger back, and incrementally improved his skating skills, which every young player needs to do. But bottom line is, I think you hit the nail on the head. This guy he's not a fourth liner. He's a first round pick with a pro shot that he had that in his back pocket for the moment he arrived. And he can contribute a lot more than just a fourth line role, which is important, but he's beyond and above that. And right now, he did get an opportunity on the second line with Sorelli at center ice. And very different combinations there, but they like Gage Gonzalez in that spot now. He's had some seasoning, and by no means are they giving up on him. Coop said that yesterday. I firmly believe this guy is going to be an important player down the road. Very important player, 20 goal scorer all day. I see that from Connor Geeky. He's got the size that you cannot teach. He's a hockey player. He's getting stronger. He's growing more and more into that big, long, lanky body that he's got. And as skating's getting stronger, and he's going to play more minutes and more situations that he simply will not get here in the NHL. It's an age-old story in this league. You got to take a step back before you can take a step forward. And we need to remember that last year, that wasn't really in the plan. And so now things are kind of evening out to the way they were supposed to be in his development project. And
I think he's got a great future. And I don't know where it all slots in. Injuries may have some may play into that as the season goes on, but there's a chance he could be back soon. So we'll see. But I thought obviously he's a huge part of it. Now they're also called up defenseman Charles-Edouard Destu, if I'm saying that correctly, who's they got to look at. And he's 27 years old. This guy is no young prospect, but interesting. Tell me a little bit about him.
Yeah, I just met him for the first time in training camp. So many names there, and you try to go around the room to introduce yourself and find out a little bit about these guys because you never know when they're going to pop back up on your roster. Right. And here we are. He's got 3 points in 4 games and an excellent start for the entire Syracuse Crunch team down there. What I saw immediately from the preseason was that he certainly has poise and presence with the puck as a defenseman. But he's bigger than I expected him to be. He's 6'1", maybe 6'2", but he's a thicker build. And as you said, he's not a kid. He's been playing pro hockey for 7 years. And get this, he has been the defenseman of the year in the last 3 of the last 4 leagues he's played in. In the Swedish league, which is a very good league. Yeah. The Finnish league, another good, hard pro, and 2 very different styles of play, by the way, even though those countries are right beside each other. 2 different styles of play. One's a harder, more defensive-minded game in the Finnish league, and then the Swedish league is much more conducive to the NHL way on a bigger ice. And I think even those ice surfaces have shrunk, if you ask me correctly. And he's Defenseman of the Year in both those leagues and in the East Coast League. And he also played the American League as well and put up good numbers there. He is the all-time leading scorer amongst defensemen for the Rimouski Oceanic, which is where he played his junior. And they both such names as Brad Richards and
that's a good team.
Yeah, Sidney Crosby came over there as well. So they've had some guys play there, and he's one of them.
Yeah. So
this guy has got a pretty decent resume. I think definitely we're going to see a look at him as they, and that's not a bad thing in my mind. I know other players who are affected by lineup changes will not love it, but you said it. 1 win in 6 games. The message here is we're not going to sit around too long before we shuffle the deck of cards here and try to make ourselves better. So that's why he's here to send a message, apply a little pressure, and I think in all likelihood get a start, at least one in the NHL while he's here. I spoke to him, just so you know, because you'll have to say his name on the Hockey Live there in the bowl.
Yes.
Spoke to him yesterday. So I said, so how do you want your name pronounced? He says, well, everybody calls me Charlie. I said, perfect. That's great. He goes, well, but my mom would like it. I go, oh, here we go. So yes, tell me how your mom would like it. So she likes, and it's not Charles. It's not with an S. It's Charles Edouard. Charles Edouard.
Charles Edouard Destu.
There you go. Okay. So I'm going to be listening to you. We're coming up with
I won't screw it up now. That's for sure. I will not disappoint Mom because she's probably going to be there. Yeah.
But so he's going to get I believe, I don't have any inside information, but I believe he's going to get a taste. That's why they bring these guys up. And this is positive for Lightning fans. This is a positive to have options now in the American League, to have guys that they can feel comfortable with bringing up and seeing what's going on. And it doesn't appear as though Max Crozier is quite ready to get back in the lineup after suffering a lower body injury. So this is a good thing, I think, for Lightning fans to see what we got. Because the truth is, JP, for a few years there wasn't much down there in terms of options to call up.
Giving away a lot of prospects,
Joel Bouchard has gone down there. He's the head coach and the GM, and he has really developed a program there that is starting to really develop guys who, like this guy was never drafted. Yeah. And so they find these guys, and then you have to develop them and make them bolts, as JP or as Julian Breezeball likes to say, make them bolts.
Hey, before you go, any updates? Gergensen's we think is coming back, and Cooch will be okay for Blackhawks Thursday night.
Yeah, both of them were out there I told you it was a pretty hard practice. Both of them were regular participants. Gergensen's had the regular jersey on. He was banging around in those drills. I would be surprised if he's not in the lineup on Thursday at the very latest on the weekend for the back-to-back against Anaheim and then Vegas. So I think those guys are good. I think Cooch is fine. I believe he was back out there. If he was still sick, he wouldn't be around the team.
Right. Yeah.
So he was out there on the ice, and I expect he'll be out there again today when practice starts in about half an hour. So it's got to start. They got 3 games here at home, and then they have a quick one in Nashville, and you got to start stacking up some wins now to get back to where you expected to be.
Yeah, hopefully they can get maybe 6 points this weekend and get things headed back in the right direction. That would be good.
Yeah.
All right, partner. And Friday night you'll have off to watch your Toronto Blue Jays game 1
I'm very fortunate because after they won, I immediately looked at the schedule, and there's only one game that's a conflict. That Nashville game is game 4. But other than that, even Saturday, the Lightning played 5. World Series is at 8, so I'm going.
You're good to go.
So I'm going to enjoy it, pal. It's going to be fun to watch. So thanks for indulging me off the top.
Well, we'll have the Blue Jays game on in the post game show over at Cigar City. So if you want to come have a beer and watch some baseball and talk hockey, we'll be there for you. Dave, thanks, man. Appreciate it. We'll see you on Thursday.
Always, JP. Always good to be on with you. And by the way, I love the new format and the post game show on the radio with all you guys having a kind of a hot stove. It's entertaining and informative, and it's the way it should be. It's great.
I feel intimidated actually with those guys talking hockey. I try to bring the comic relief and the fan perspective. That's about all I can add, but I appreciate that. Thanks, partner.
All right, buddy.
All right. The great Dave Randorf there. Go Jays. I'll say it. Go Jays. I got to root for the Jays, right? I'm not going to root for the Dodgers, for God's sakes.
I mean,
No
if you
way.
have a personal connection to the Blue Jays, more power to you. I'm rooting for the Dodgers 100%.
You're an Expos fan. Yeah, it's still there, isn't it?
A little bit.
But I thought all of Canada was rooting for the Jays. But all you Expos fans, can't do it.
There is no one in Quebec that has love for anything from Toronto, from Ontario. That's not.
Is that true?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Okay. The hatred between
all of Canada.
You know the hatred between Canadiens fans and Maple Leafs fans, obviously.
Right.
Okay,
course,
that goes to other sports. That's nationalistic. That is not just a hockey thing. That is nationalistic.
Okay. All
the
right.
Argonauts and the Alouettes fans don't get along either. It's a thing.
As it should be, right? It's Boston,
Yeah.
like Boston and
Rivalry.
New York. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I was misinformed.
Yeah.
I thought all of Canada was backing the Blue Jays, but I guess that's not the case.
That's like from Texas. I call BS on like Aggies fans who cheer for the Longhorns in bowl games or whatever because they're from Texas. Hey, they're a Texas team. We got to cheer for. No, you don't. They're the freaking Longhorns. Get over it.
I'm not cheering for the. I don't know. Sometimes, like when the Gators are playing in basketball, I was rooting for them. Yeah, I mean, believe it or not,
if you can do that.
Now, if they were playing against FSU, I wouldn't be. But
now,
we can't even make the freaking tournament.
There are probably levels of that, like depending on who their opponent is. Like if you have a hatred above and beyond for that opponent, like back when the Eagles and the Patriots played in the Super Bowl, it was a no-win situation for me. I hated the Patriots, and obviously everyone knows I hate the Eagles, but my hatred of the Eagles trumps my hatred of the Patriots, so I cheered for the Patriots. I even wore a Patriots hat, JP. I bought a Patriots Patriot hat to wear during the Super Bowl.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a super chat. Thank you very much to Jimmy J. Voyager. If you'd like to super chat us on YouTube, we'd love to take your money. Thank you for helping us with this independent media venture that we got going here. We really appreciate it. We survive because of you fans and our great sponsors, so we thank you for that. Jimmy J. Voyager said, do we think we hear any Rays updates following the World Series, or do we think there'll be some radio silent for a bit? My last communication with them was basically, hey, I'd asked them, there was some stuff out there. I wanted to see if they wanted to comment on it. And they're like, hey, we're not really going to get out there and comment on everything that comes across. We're just going to get to work. So appreciate the opportunity, but we're going to dig in right now and not do a whole lot of public stuff. So that's all I can tell you. I don't know if they have anything planned rather soon. I do think this process will be expedited. And I do think they're pretty far down the road on what they want to do. I how when you're scrolling, sometimes you come across some incredible pictures and AI stuff, and you just stops you dead. Well, there's this one I came across this morning. It was a skyscraper stadium. And
I saw that. I saw that. Was it at the top?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I was like, who needs 100 acres? Let's go. We're building skyscrapers like there's Starbucks here at Tampa Bay. So let's just put it on top of it. I'm like, holy crap. Could you imagine? Looking. Yeah. I mean, there's some engineering feats, and then there's some engineering feats.
Imagine if if it's a baseball, somebody hits it out of the park. Where's it going to land?
47th Street. Yeah. That's a missile. That could be a problem.
It'll kill somebody.
Oh my God! Can you imagine the views of that sitting in the stadium at 100 stories up? Oh my God! But what can't they? I will say this, and I see this stuff all the time when I'm scrolling. You see some of the things that they built in China, and in it's Asia. It's like the bridges, the airports. It's insane, and we can't build a freaking train track here.
Can't build a bullet train to save our life, can we?
Cannot. It's crazy. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get to all the comments. I want to get into my monologue pleading Jason Light to do something in a season that is on the precipice of going very wrong. We need a bold move. We are brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. They are local, they are trusted, and they get great results. Do not go with a law firm that one of these big law firms out of town, don't know the local legal landscape. Not a big plus for you. The Jeeves Law Group will make you a priority and they know the local legal landscape. JeevesLawGroup.com is the website. Just go there, get your free case evaluation. They'll set up a conference with one of their attorneys. JeevesLawGroup.com, not attorney spokesman, offices Tampa and St. Pete. And Genesis of Tampa, the Murphy Auto Group. Mike Murphy, one of your new investors in the Rays. Go buy a car from him because they have a great business over there. It's a great family business, by the way. And now until 2026, no payments if you buy a new vehicle at Genesis of Tampa. That's right. You can take that money that you spend on your car payment and use that for Christmas presents. Many of you on yourselves. But whatever, you save the money. Genesis of Tampa, new car buy. You get no payments until 2026. Tell them JP sent you. Back in 3. Experience the art of driving at Genesis of Tampa, where luxury meets innovation and every detail is crafted for you. From the bold G70 to the refined GV80, Genesis delivers power, elegance, and technology years ahead of its time. Book service online, and our Genesis Experience advisors will pick you up and drop off your vehicle. If available, you can enjoy a courtesy car while yours gets a complimentary interior vacuum plus a generous offer for your trade. Every new Genesis comes with the Miracle Advantage Plan, 10 years or 250,000 miles of powertrain warranty and 4 years of complimentary maintenance. Visit us at 801 East Bears Avenue or online at genesisoftampa.com. Genesis of Tampa, luxury redefined. Italiano Insurance would like to congratulate the Bucs on their 50th anniversary season. And you know what? We've been here for every season and then some, over 60 years in business. We've seen some smart coaches with great game plans, but if you don't have flood insurance or business insurance, that's a terrible game plan. That could ruin you financially. You don't want to take that L. So call 813-877-7799 and let their friendly agents quarterback your insurance and save you big money. Italiano also sponsors our FSU report every week, so go Noles. 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com. JP here for Riveters, our new official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. And just like our show, no BS, no corporate chain feel, just amazing, authentic folks serving great comfort food in a casual atmosphere at unheard of prices. Riveters is located just south of Raymond James and Steinbrenner Field on Dale Mabry, walking distance to the park, so free parking, great place for pregame and postgame. Let's talk about fresh food. Nothing is frozen. Burgers, wings, prime rib, roasted fresh daily, never frozen. That makes a huge difference. The mahi, the salmon, also super fresh. All our sauces are original recipes made in-house. Our Warhawk chili and fully loaded potato soup is made fresh in-house. It's the best food anywhere, served by people who actually care. Riveters on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of where the Bucs and Rays play. We'll see you there. Are you looking to renovate your home, rebuild after the hurricanes, or build your dream home from scratch? Well, let me tell you about my friend Jason Fawcett and On-Site Construction. They have over 1,450 satisfied clients, 25 years of experience, over 500 designs, and a talented team of over 40 construction professionals. They believe building something exceptional begins by truly focusing on all the details, even the smallest ones. We understand that construction can be a daunting process, and we're here to make it as smooth and stress-free as possible. Quality is non-negotiable at On-Site Construction. We use the finest materials, employ the most skilled tradespeople, and adhere to the highest industry standards to deliver a product we're proud of and that you're going to love. Our project management is meticulous with a focus on completing projects on time and on budget. Your happiness is our primary driver. So give us a call at 813-579-5789 or check out our incredible website at onsiteconstructionfl.com. Are you having legal issues with a business partner or other legal business issues? The attorneys at Walters, Levine & DeGrave can help. Call 800-616-0384 for a free consultation. At Walters, Levine & DeGrave, we've redefined what a law firm can be with top-tier attorneys, personal service, and 26 years of success. From business law to civil litigation, we deliver smart, client-focused solutions. Walters, Levine & DeGrave recently won a $6.4 million jury verdict from a large real estate developer, and they can win for you too. Walters, Levine & DeGrave. Let's solve it together. Not attorney spokesman. For a free consultation, call 800-616-0384 or go to walterslevine.com. Offices Tampa, Sarasota.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Riveters, the official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. They will be hosting the Gator Watch Party as they do each and every week. The Tampa Gator Club is the home for Riveters, or Riveters is the home for the Tampa Gator Club. If you want to go watch their new coaches in action this week, check it out at Riveters. Greatest happy hour, greatest food, greatest staff. They got also have a Halloween party coming up too. Spinning the ones and twos. We'll have a DJ, all kinds of fun. So head on out to Riveters of Tampa if you're going over to J for anything. That's where you want to go, just south of the stadium, right there. All right. So the Buccaneers. I watched the All-22 last night, much to my chagrin.
How long does it take you to go through spend
2.5 hours?
Okay, maybe that's normal then.
Yeah, 2.5
That's
hours.
not what it takes me to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm running back every play, a couple times just to, okay, how's the?
You're looking at different positions, right? You're looking at different guys on each play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What did Hassan Reddick do on this play? Oh, not much. What did he do? Oh, he got pressure. Okay, good. He was in his face. There's just so many things that you can see that you just can't see on a television broadcast, and you get distracted at times because there's no sound on this.
Right.
So I'm sitting in a soundless room watching, running these highlights back and forth, and I'm like, what am I doing? But actually, it does give you great insight into who's playing well and who's not, because if you go in there and kind of check that out for yourself, and I don't say that as a diss. That's just the way he handles his stuff, and it works really well for him from a loyalty standpoint. Players love him. So you got to kind of do it yourself. And I've got the one thing that I would re-emphasize is the bad tackling. Bad tackling really, really cost the Buccaneers in this game. And we said that going into the game that, look, Jahmyr Gibbs is he's a stud. He's one of the best players in the most explosive. Losing Ben Johnson sure looks like it hurt them, but not that much. Play calling, I think, I don't want to say it's overrated, but look, when you've got weapons like this, I can call plays. If I give Jahmyr Gibbs 20 touches, he's going to do okay. And they've got a really good offensive line. They understand, and they actually look at this Lions offense, and they got guys going everywhere. And, Amon-Ra St. Brown is a fast, quick mofo. He's hard to cover. And when you get him out in space, he's going to make you miss, and he's going to make you look ugly. Parrish had him one-on-one for that touchdown, and he was right in his back pocket until the last second. And God defense for that. So sometimes you really got to tip your cap to the other team. And defensively, I thought this team made some really good plays. They held Detroit to 24 points. And again, sometimes that could be misleading, because if you don't get within two, as soon as the Bucs got within 2 scores at 14-9, they went right down the field. And the Bucs weren't within 2 scores the rest of the game. So you got to kind of take the defensive effort a little bit with a grain of salt, but for the most part, I thought they did some good things. The offensive line was not good. They were not good. And every time, it was interesting, every time Baker, through play action or good protection, had a chance to step into a throw, he made a good throw. And every time he was crowded and couldn't step into the throw, he made a bad throw. A lot of it was the protection. So, and I think you're going to see other teams kind of mush rush him and just try to keep him in the pocket, not let him get out and make plays. And the Bucs are going to have to be more stout up front. The guards were terrible. The guards, specifically Michael Jordan, was really bad. He had a bad day. Charlie Heck was not much better. And Graham Barton gave up some pressures as well. That's
all look like they're still injured to me.
Yeah, there's something That was the bad performance. And here's the other thing about the run. The run game was good. The run game was really good. The times they ran the football, they were, there's one particular play where they pulled Jordan and Heck into the hole, and Rashad got 8 yards. A lot of those runs, it looked like, oh, that's going to break. That's going to break. And he, right at the end, they brought him down. And that, me, if Grizzardi goes back and looks at that, I think he's going to say, I should have stayed with the run more. Because there were times when, but there are also shot plays that he called. The one that Baker threw short to Emeka Buka, that was a great call. That was coming off two kind of short-armed it to a Buka, and it hit the defensive back in the back of the head. So, I mean, it was just a tick off here and a tick off there, or this is a completely different game. I know you look at the game in its motion, you get caught up in the emotion of it, and you're like, wow, they got blown out. No, they didn't. They were a tick off on it's the NFL. That's why you play the games. You still got to throw the football. You got to catch the football. You got to protect. You got to make the calls. I was talking a little bit about the chess match earlier in the game. Bulls got some, and the Lions got some, and they executed in those moments. So just two really, really good football teams going at it. I don't think it's time to panic, but there's, as I said yesterday at first blush watching the game, inside linebackers of, is this an opportunity for Jason Light? Yes. And you look at the fact that, first of all, the team is 5-2. You have a great opportunity to get to 6-2 at the bye. I mean, how often does that happen for the Buccaneers? How often do they have what, not just us, but many consider a Super Bowl roster, and you're 6-2? I mean, look, the Chiefs are 4-3. They have a Super Bowl roster, but they're 4-3. So it's a little bit different now. Are they going to make the playoffs? Yeah, I think they are. They look really good, but they can get to 6. So, and here's the other thing: you've drafted so well over the last 3 years. Normally, Light loves to hold on to those draft picks because the more shots you get, more opportunities you got to score points, right? So you need as many draft picks as you can. You never know when you're going to hit on the 5th, 6th, 7th rounder even, right? Look at Tez Johnson. Look at Elijah Roberts is playing fantastic, by the way. Looking at him on the All-22, he's going to be a really, really good player. They got one there in the 5th round, a defensive line, which is rare to find one in the 5th round. So you've got some draft capital built up. Max Crosby, who I think would be a great fit at his age, the way he plays, his relentless motor, team guy. I mean, I think he would be seamless, an addition and a leader. He's JPP all over again. But Spytek is not going to trade him. He is. The word is that he doesn't want to leave, and the Raiders don't want to trade him. And it would be really expensive to do so, and they would have to take, I think, a $35 million cap hit. I don't think that's something that they're interested in doing. Even, and if they do, that means what? 2 1s? I don't mind giving up 1-1 at all, because the guy you're going to draft next year in the 1st round is going to be an edge rusher. It ain't going to be a wide receiver. It's going to be an edge rusher if the status quo stands. Who are you going to get at 25, 24, which is where the Bucs will be picking? Certainly not Max Crosby. Certainly. None of those guys are usually, those type of talents are not available. So I don't care about the pick. If I can get a proven pass rusher, but you're going to have to give up a 1 and maybe a 2 to get Max Crosby. And then, there's the money, $38 million a year. Now, you only have to pay that for 2.5 years. And you get him for, basically this 3rd season, which is huge, and it's somewhat of a discount because you only pay in half the season. But then the other thing, where's he going to go? Is he going to go to the Cowboys? Is he going to go to the Panthers? Is he going to go to the 49ers? These other NFC teams are also in desperate need of edge rushing. So it is a seller's market. How much do you want? And I don't think there will ever be a better opportunity for Jason Light to sell or to buy. in terms of not opportunity. I don't think there'll ever be more of an urgency.
Right.
Like, this is your moment. This is a special season. You've got a quarterback. You've got to get Gedicke back in a hurry and shore up that right guard spot. You need, you've got a defense that is, I think, on the come with the men. If you can get some guys healthy, and you need a pass rusher and inside linebacker, I would go out of my comfort zone and go find those guys and spend some draft capital. So again, who are the guys? Crosby. Do you have any insight into Crosby, Timmy?
So here's the deal with Crosby, and you touched on it a little bit. They don't want to get rid of him. He doesn't want to leave. But as you know, in the world of football and the business of football, that don't mean a hill of beans, because business is business. And if they get the right offer, they will let him go. I'm also hearing they want 2 number ones, which I don't know that. And what they're doing is, look, if you got something you need to sell, price it. So I think that's kind of where they're at. Yeah. If I'm the Cowboys, and of course we talked about it on our show from a Cowboys standpoint, man, I would give up a 1 and a 4 or lower for him. I'm not giving up 2 1s. I'm not giving up a 1 and a 2 or a 1 and a 3. But I would give up a 1. You got him, and I think it's a team-friendly contract. I really do, compared to what you have these days. Now, in 2.5 years, are you going to re-sign him? Well, that's up to you. If you've won your Super Bowl in that time frame, you know, maybe you don't need to re-sign him. Which I think the Bucs are closer than the Cowboys, obviously. But he's also Mark Davis's favorite player. You have that. There's some personal relationship there.
And that's going to be
But you know what? Micah Parsons was Jerry Go. It's business, man.
Hey, we have, I guess my audio is breaking up here. Yeah, it's weird, guys. It's, on StreamYard, everything always sounds good to us, but I don't, sometimes it reaches you guys. I think it's my mic. Let me remove me, and I'll come back in.
If it sounds good on our end, then it's not an issue on our side. It's an issue with YouTube, probably, because there was a YouTube outage last week or earlier this week, and that might be what's happening again, because it happened Friday, whatever it was last week.
Yeah, Monday too.
Yeah. So I probably is not on our end. You keep going, and I'll look at some stuff and listen for some stuff, but it's probably nothing we can do.
All right. Well, we'll have to. Let us guys know. Let us know where you're listening. If you can't hear it, if it's so. Anyway, we'll have to continue as it is. So yeah. So Crosby, I don't know if he's in play. Kayvon Thibodeau is kind of like third pass rusher in the Giants. He's on his 5th-year option. He was a top 6 pick. He's got the body, the pedigree, everything. It's just the Giants are really, really deep. What's it going to take to get him? If he's in play, I go for it. This is a seller's market, so I think the price is going to be high. Now you got to decide whether you're going to. Now he's a guy at 6 years of age. You would definitely look to re-sign to an extension. So it wouldn't necessarily be just a rental of a player. He'd be available, but he's going to be a free agent. So you have to. And listen, if you're the Buccaneers, you feel really good about bringing a guy in here, and if he produces, he'll feel the culture and want to stay. He'll want to play. The Dolphins have a couple of guys that Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb. Chubb has had a lot of injury history, Achilles. I think he has had 3 ACLs. I think it's 3 ACLs. Jalen Phillips had Achilles. So both of these guys are a little damaged goods. The Dolphins are probably going to be in full sale mode. So there might be an opportunity to get one of those guys at a lesser price. So I don't know who the guy is, but I think Jason Light has to take a swing here. And I think inside linebacker is a must. I would really go try to find a veteran inside linebacker to kind of swim in a little bit. and he's costing us. He's costing us in a lot of situations. It's clear that they're picking on him in coverage. Now, listen, being out in the flat one-on-one with Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson, I mean, everybody's going to look kind of foolish.
Good luck.
But I think it's probably just some other parts of his game that if you had a more experienced player in there, I just think you're better. And typically you can find those guys for not a whole lot of compensation. Again, I know the Bucs don't necessarily want to, and if you can find for the next few years and be a good, stout part, it doesn't have to be a Pro Bowler, a good inside linebacker veteran guy that's been around, played 5 or 6, 7 years in this league. You can find those guys. So we'll see what Jason Light does. But I think the opportunity is now. You've got a special season. You've got some really, really good drafts. You've got cap space there. According to Sport Track, they're $16 million under the cap. And, looking forward to next year, Mike Evans, here's an interesting part. Mike's got a clavicle. It'll probably take 10 weeks for him to come back, which will put him right at the end of the regular season first all over again. Does he still want to play? That's $23 million that's coming off the books next year. Cap's going up $25 million. So in terms of making an investment, if you were to be able to get a Max Crosby or Trey Hendrickson in terms of money, you've got money available. Now, I know you got to pay Gedeke, and there's some other things, but I think right now edge rusher is an absolute necessity. The Bucs haven't been able to win a Super Bowl without a dominant guy there, and Jason Pierre-Paul or Simeon Rice. Every Super Bowl team, it seems, has that dominant guy. It's just part of the formula. The Bucs have got their pressure numbers are not bad, and they've had 10 sacks in the last couple of games. So it's not like their pass rush is horrible, but it's just what are the Cowboys going to do? What are the 49ers? They're going to help your roster, or you're going to fall behind. How aggressive do you want to be? And if there's ever a window for being aggressive for Jason Light, now is that time. Great start. Super Bowl roster, not a dominant team out there in the NFC. There's nobody out there that you go, oh my God, we can't play with them. No, you beaten Seattle, you beaten the 49ers. I think the Lions game was closer than you think. If Elijah Roberts isn't held in the hole, and those two penalties that led to, like, the Bucs got blown out. It kind of looks that way, but when you look at the tape, they were okay. They were a couple of clicks away from being right there at the end. So don't panic. Don't panic. But this is a time. This is a moment to make that move. And I think Jason Light knows that. I think the organization knows that. There was a question in here about, is this an organizational thing, or is it, is it something that Jason Light just doesn't like? I don't necessarily think it's the Glazers are butting in and say, no, we don't give away high draft picks. That's not what we do. I don't think that at all. I think Jason Light has full purview to do whatever the hell he wants to do. They trust him implicitly. And I think, listen, when they're ready and the time is right and the deal looks good, they'll pull the trigger. I don't think he's –
But that's one of the things I respect about Jason Light. Going to help the team, then what's the point? And there's a lot of GMs that will do that because they're under pressure to do things, so they just go do things so that they did something. And it's not always the best move for your team. Very rarely is that the best move for your team.
Yeah, but I think Jason knows the moment's right, and I think they're looking at everything, and I think they know what their weaknesses are. But first and foremost, go beat the same off week. Really can look around, see where your resources are, and what you need to do to shore up this team. I think offensively they're set. Even with Mike going down, I think they're good at receiver. They need to get Godwin back. And he needs to be a factor. And here's another thing: you sit here and you go, and I hate to do this worst case scenario, but we signed Godwin while he was injured. and he's still injured. You took a risk in paying Mike Evans at his age. I don't think it was a big risk, but it's still a risk. So at this point, and I think Mike's contract is over, so we got to re-sign him after this year. Wrapped up in 2 receivers who aren't playing right now. And that's not great. That's not great. Luckily, you have drafted and have some depth there, but you need to get Godwin back to make a run. And here's the other thing. The last part of the schedule is really manageable. Really manageable. I mean, you can see, especially if you make some additions right now, if you can bring in a pass rusher, an impact guy, and an inside 12 wins, you see 12 wins really, not easily. Nothing's easy in this league, but you can get there. How often have we ever been able to say that about the Buccaneers? And if you can get to 12 wins or 13 wins, and I know it doesn't look likely now to the Lions. The Lions are going to lose some games, okay? 49ers are going to lose some games. The Packers are going to lose some games. 12, 13 wins will get you the number 1 seed, I think. So there's a lot at stake. And it's if you got cap room, you've got some draft capital that you think you can play with, and I think they do, given their drafts in the last. I think you'll regret not doing things that maybe you would not have done in the past.
And look, don't. There's a lot of people I've seen on social media and even here on the show. No names will be mentioned. Bucs basement. Gloom and doom because of the loss to the Lions. I picked the wins and losses. This was a loss for me. Like they were supposed to lose this game. Yes, it's still disappointing, but they're 5-2, and they're still the best, maybe tied with the Lions team in the NFC. Still, I believe that. The Eagles are falling. They're free falling. The 49ers are banged up. They're not very good. They've got wins, but they're not very good. The Cowboys are not very good on defense.
Joel Forsland says it's hilarious that anyone thinks we could trade for Ed. If you trade for Max Crosby, he's not going to be able to get to the passer because he's wearing a Bucs uniform.
Yeah, I don't understand that statement.
I don't get that. Why are we discussing trading for old defensive ends? Because they're the better ones and they might be available.
Established and available.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
He also says we've drafted and signed a lot of defensive ends, outside linebackers in this defensive scheme. At what point do you question the development and not just the players? How many times does Reddick drop that? And they were playing him as like a third inside linebacker. He was lined up behind the defensive tackles in the middle a couple of times, Hassan Reddick. So this is part of the Bulls, deal, and I get that, and that's a valid criticism. If you're dropping into coverage 20% opportunities, you have the rest of the passer, and also it's a quick strike league now. There's Josh Capo had that stat last week. It said there was something like 2,500 dropbacks that were, the ball is out in less than 2 seconds. Those are, how many pressures that you had on those? I think there were 7. So then, quote, 30 dropbacks, but your actual chance to get a sack might be only 10 of those, where you're taking more than 2 seconds. You just, you can't get there. Guys in a shotgun, you can't get there. So we got to keep this in mind. The days I think of, really, really hard to get to. And it's part of this in scheme is part of that. No question about it. So you got to look at pressure rates and all those other things. And the Bucs have been pretty good at that. So I still think you need that game wrecker because it changes the way offenses attack you. Because you look at what the Bucs have to do, even last week against Aiden Hutchinson. Otten, tight end Payne Durham, they were constantly, the backs were constantly having to chip and be there. So you can still look at any scheme you want. You can look at teams win Super Bowls, have these guys. It's almost universally. And there's got to be something to that. All right, we'll take another break. We'll come back and get to some more comments here. We got to get to some of the college football as well. I had an interesting conversation, or a couple conversations yesterday with some Florida State boosters, so I'll pass on some of the background information that I learned there. Florida still are a whole lot going on with that, but you probably won't. So we'll get to that, and we'll do a little baseball as well. So want to remind you folks, Italiano Insurance is the place to go if you need homeowners insurance. If you haven't checked your insurance in a while, haven't done that insurance checkup, give them a call, 813-877-7799. You're probably just paying that bill every month. Go ahead and let them shop it around. It doesn't cost you any time. It costs you any. ItalianoInsurance.com, 813-877-7799. Back at 3. The holidays are coming up, and the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler. Discover the ultimate jewelry superstore with the largest selection jewelry all under one roof. Don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. And as your relationship grows, so can your diamond with the Golden Diamond. You get 100% of its value when you come back to trade up. And why don't you get a head start on your holiday shopping? With the Golden Diamond Source's unbeatable low price, you can get 5 years, 0%, and make this holiday season truly memorable. The Golden Diamonds are diamonds formed over billions of years by the Earth's incredible forces. If it's real love, get a real diamond. Shop online anytime at the Golden, and tell them JP sent you at 3800 Almaton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com. Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house march transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard. Down Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. And my man, Scott Jeeves, who lives right here and has long been a highly respected member of our community. He's a proud sponsor of the Tampa Riverwalk, sponsor of our Grand Central District in St. Pete, and has neighborhood events throughout the year. He has an office on Central Avenue in St. Pete and one on South Howard in Tampa. You can't get more local than that. So when you need an attorney, you're just all over the state, or the one that supports your favorite sports show, it's the Jeeves Law Group. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. For personal injury and personal attention, call us for a free case evaluation. That's 8889-JEEVES. That's 88VES. With this record heat in Tampa Bay, you better have your AC unit running at peak efficiency. Third Generation Plumbing installs the best American power split systems, offer the highest efficiency available while reducing energy bills and maximize plumbing. Trust American Standard Air Conditioning, built to last, made to perform. Whether it's a new install or an emergency repair, our family-owned team brings 3 generator home, now with the unmatched reliability of American Standard. Plumbing or cooling, we've got Tampa covered. Call Third Generation Plumbing today, 813-961-8024, or go to Third Generation AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 19 started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995 from our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute. JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come on, have a deal. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao. See you soon at Paradiso.
Let's go.
Extreme Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. Hopefully my audio is better. I did what I only know how to do, and that's
It's not us. It's the StreamYard issue, JP. It's not us.
no. Those bastards.
Yeah, I'm watching the stream and here. It's choppy on Facebook. It's choppy on X. It's choppy on Facebook or on YouTube. So it's not us. It's
Well, hopefully it will at some point self-correct. And I understand you guys. If you can't listen, you can't listen. We apologize. Letting us know. I guess let us know if it clears up. I don't know. Thank you for sticking with us. There's nothing we can do. It's not us. It's not us. It's them. Although I will say thank you to Cody for this. So it's choppy audio on YouTube, but still way better than listening to 620.
love it.
Cody, DM us, Cody. You deserve a shirt for that.
Yeah.
I'll send you a shirt. No, it's not Mint Cellular. Thomas Casper song.
You'll have that. Yes.
Mobile.
So ridiculous.
Well, they don't spend a lot on their marketing.
I'd rather have Walmart as my mobile provider than Mint.
I have Spectrum, and I don't know. They're
all bad.
Pretty.
They're all bad. I have AT&T. I switch about every year when they throw free stuff at me.
I'm looking for a free offer or something. Like I pay.
You want to know what my cell phone bill is every month, JP?
What's that?
It's about $340.
How many kids you got on there?
5.
5 lines cost about $340 a month.
I have 6 total lines, including my own.
Yeah.
And my Apple Watch.
They need to.
No, I have no tablets. I don't have anything other. And it's just all kids' lines and stuff.
Well, I don't know. $60 is a lot, but I know there's cheaper stuff out there. But who knows? All right, let's get to some of the comments. Hopefully, just some that don't say your audio sucks.
It's the video too. Copy too. So it's
sorry to all of you guys. James says the Bucs lay an egg Sunday versus the Saints. Season over. At 5-3, the season is over at the bye. Okay, good to know. You would hope a Bucs motivated going into the bye week and destroy Saints and allow backups to play in the second half. Let's see how Bowles has the Bucs ready. I think the Saints are having a bad season. They're beat up. But listen, if I've learned anything about the NFL, like injuries matter, but sometimes they can turn your team around. And what Detroit did, the way those guys played in the secondary last week, and I think Troy Aikman said at one point, he said, "This is one of the greatest defensive performances I've ever." I mean, again, tip of the cap to those guys. Those guys made plays. One of the 38 Winfield or something. I don't even know the guy. Whitehead. He must have had 5 pass breakups, and he's a special teams guy playing base defense for the first time ever. I mean, that's just crazy. They played really well. Just a tick off. James has a busted edge. Bucs must get a pass rush to help. Yeah. Braswell is. I mean, I see nothing there. You know, I was one of the more curious. At Bama had a lot of pressures, but not sacks. You turn on the tape, he's not uber athletic. He's not uber powerful. It doesn't really have superpower. And he's been very average. Very average. I mean, you turn on the all-22, he's not doing it. Bootleg where he got fooled. It's just giving you nothing. Absolutely nothing. Bucs trade deadline needs edge rusher, inside linebacker and wide receiver, says Michael LaRue, especially if Godwin's injury is more serious than the team is letting on. Rentals make more sense than taking on big contracts. I don't know. I think that's the thing. I think you can make when you have cap space, and this is the thing about, Mike Evans is a real key in this, and you have to and I don't think Mike knows whether he wants to come back. I don't think he does. He said this. We'll see.
I think he was up in the air the last time.
Yeah, he said we'll see, and I think that meant if the season goes well and I don't get injured and I get my 1,000 yards, and then I'll probably still want to play. It does, but also, I got news for you. Fortunately, most players do. Like, players rarely get to choose how they go out. It sucks. See Derek Brooks. See John Lynch. It sucks, but maybe he wants to come. The thing about Mike is I said this. I've never seen him better. He's never been faster, run better routes, better connection with Baker. I mean, they were just so in sync. So in sync. Again, I think there's just a lot up in the air about that. So would I go out and get it like a number one guy and with a big contract? No. As a wide receiver, no. Edge rusher, maybe. And even if it's a second contract and it's a little rich, I'd look at that, because I don't think Servazi is the future. I don't want to, I think he's probably a good number 3, number 4, but I don't think he's a 1 or 2. And you got to replace Levante. So, yeah, that would be, if there's somebody out there, a big name inside linebacker that makes a lot of money that's available, I'd pull the trigger on that, because that can change your defense dramatically everywhere. He's in the middle. He's close to the ball. Probably a really smart dude. Double-digit tackles. Yeah. All right, we got most of the comments here are just yelling us. That's
what happens.
Nathan Elliott says, I can't say the guards and Barton look bad or off without acknowledging the Lions' defensive tackle dominated. Yeah, true. I mean, they're not, so let's not beat them up too, but they, bottom line is they got beat. They got beat, and significantly for a lot of the game. So, Rick says, start fleecing the 1-win teams. Bradley, Brian Burns, who I think is leading the league in sacks. But I'm up for it. Rick says, of course, it sounds great on your end. It sucks on our end. Typical day. Sorry. It's going to suck, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What else we got here? Joel says, I love Crosby. He just won't be the same player like Crosby, though. Do you, if you're Bowles, do you adjust your defense? I think you would. If you have a dominant guy like a Max Crosby, I think you adjust his scheme and don't have him drop as much. I could be wrong. John Hill says, Nathan Elliott concur with defensive tackles taking up O linemen. So how are the Bucs doing with developing Desmond Watson? Fresh D lineman goes a long way. I don't think he's going to play. I really don't. He's still too big. He doesn't move very well at all. But he's getting better. He's definitely getting better. A considerable amount of weight. I don't know what the number is, but it looks like considerable amount. More right rudder says Hassan Reddick Shoyanka. That's not a compliment, Mr. Hassan.
HRS instead of JTF.
Yeah, I was wrong about Hassan Reddick. I thought he would be a big time.
I did too, man. I called double digits.
Yep. Joel Forsland says Rattler hasn't thrown for more than 233 yards in a game this season. Over under, he gets more than that on Sunday. Ooh, I'm going to say under. I think the Bucs come out with a spirit response. Although more right rudder says he's going over 233.
Okay.
I mean, what? I'm trying to think of the Saints receiver. Olave, is Olave playing?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I like our defensive backs. I really do. I think there was a couple of curious reps from Jamel Dean in that game too that I needed some explanation on, but yeah.
I think Chris Olave has been our outlier here of successful Ohio State wide receivers to enter the league. And I don't know that it's his fault. I think it's because of where he plays. Conversation of, man, all these great Ohio State wide receivers that come out, and how great they are. We don't really mention Olave's name. Although we're probably not going to mention Marvin Harrison Jr.'s name much either, because he's kind of stuck out in Arizona.
Yeah.
Not having a great year.
Yeah. Although I think he's been a bit of an enigma himself at the time in Arizona. It's a little bizarre. Yeah, listen, I think this is an opportunity for the Bucs defense to have one of their better games, and they need to step up. With your offense hurting a little bit, this is where you need your defense to step up, grab 3 or 4 turnovers in this game, and blow them out. Get up on them early. Get after them. Put some pressure on Rattler and see what happens. I think that's where you need to win this game. Defensively, they got to step up. Got to tackle better, number one. All right, wanted to get a little bit into college stuff here. I spoke with a couple of FSU big boosters yesterday, and I'm not going to give any specifics because it was off the record. So this is very much for background information. Where is Florida State at in terms of money? Do they have enough money to buy out Mike Norvell? What I believe now, you saw the public statement that went out last week from Michael Alford that is getting wildly ridiculed. And I get it. You look at Florida and they pulled the trigger. You want to do the same thing. It's not the same situation. It's a $20 million buyout, $63 million buyout are not the same. I've been told that there is some savings in terms of the buyouts of all the contracts if they go the full term this year. I don't know what, sacking ahead, it does tell the recruits that obviously someone else new is coming in. I think there's ways to figure that out anyway if you're a recruit. And I definitely think Michael Alford is looking to find out who the next guy is and what that's going to take and looking at all his options. I don't think this is in any part of, let's see if we can get our ducks in a row. What's it going to look like? A couple of things I found out is right now, the university is covering a lot of for the next couple of years. And then it's going to kind of go to the Seminole boosters that they've got to make up this shortfall of about $30 million a year right now, which the university, I think, is putting into the athletic program. And when the new kind of deal kicks in with the ACC and then possibly a new conference, Big Ten or SEC, that could make up the difference of that shortfall. But they've got to find out a way on these new facilities they have. They don't pay that in a chunk. They pay that as they finance it over many years. As the new revenue comes in, they pay it off. So, they're not so flush with cash that they can have a couple of boosters just write checks. That said, I think there's revenue generating opportunities that are still waiting to be realized. There could be a name coming up. So there's more money coming on the table, and I think Alford is trying to figure out, what those numbers are going to be, how fits in and how you pay off Norvell. Now you don't have to write a check for I think it's $58 million after the season. You don't have to write a check for that. That is a monthly expense that you pay off through the end of his contract, and it's a big monthly expense. How there's offset language in the contract for Mike, so whatever job he takes will be off wherever he goes. And if they hire a James Franklin, that also works in your favor. So there's a lot of I see there's Jimbo I think is being paid by Texas A&M for another 3 years, and there is not offset language in that contract according to what I read.
Yeah.
So they Jimbo could come here and basically work for free, and that would fit in, I think, the business model of what FSU, even though I want no part of Jimbo Fisher or Norvell, it's a better opportunity. It's a better option at this point. So I think FSU doesn't have every option available to them. I do not think this is we'll go get James Franklin or we'll go get this guy. And I don't think that's option is as clear right now, but I do think as the months go on, it becomes more clear. So I think for Michael Alford, what they did was a stopgap thing. Everybody's talking about it. Here's our response. We're going to start looking for our new coach now. I don't think there's a world where Mike Norvell is the coach next year. I do not think that's possible. So I think this statement is what many of these statements are. It's a public statement of we're looking for our new guy. But right now he's the guy, and we're just going to continue. Now I know this is going to lead to a lot of awkward moments as he comes out of the tunnel and is announced as the head coach. They just opened the new football facility yesterday, and the picture's amazing. And there's obviously a lot of comments from the fans like, you guys don't deserve this. You don't get the move. It would be great. If I were Norvell, I'd say, you guys don't step foot in here until you win an ACC game. That might be motivation for them to actually get off their ass and do something. There are rumblings within the program that the players, that Mike has lost the locker room in a sense that there were reports of guys mocking him after the loss to Stanford.
Ouch.
I don't know how true that is, but there have been multiple reports about that. I got further confirmation of that yesterday from has lost the team, quite frankly. I do. Would it be better just to go to an interim? I don't know. I think this season is lost. You look at this schedule, they're not winning at Clemson. They're going to get to Florida, will probably whoop their ass in Gainesville at the end of the year. These players aren't. If you can't stand up and beat Stanford, you think you're going on the road to Clemson? You think you're going to win at NC State on a Friday night? No freaking chance. They might be. Wake Forest is 4-2. You may not even beat them. Virginia Tech's horrible. That's maybe the only win you have. There's not a world where Mike survives. But they've got, I think right now they're getting their ducks in a row, trying to figure out who the next guy is. And look, you're going to have tremendous facilities, among the best in the nation. You have a great brand still. I know it looks bad right now for Florida State, but I think there's brighter days ahead. And clearly, Alford, from what I heard yesterday, Alford is in good standing. I think he is fully in control and has control of this and will make these decisions moving forward. And I think that's good. I think he's doing a fantastic job. I think a lot of this criticism of him is not warranted. I think the new facilities that he's done, the fight that he had with the ACC was hard, but somebody had to do it, and he took a lot of shit for it. But I think it was the thing that had to be done. So let's see where this program is at the end of the year. I don't know who they're going to hire, but I still think there's a lot of good going on here. It's not the end of the world. They'll find the next guy, and I don't know who it's going to be at this. If I were Michael Alford, so we'll see. Yeah. All right, let's take another break. We'll come back on the other side. We're going to hear from Todd Bowles. We have a little bit of Todd Bowles from yesterday, so we'll hear from him. Hopefully the audio is cleared up. You guys are listening. And we'll have an update from practice. Looks like Bucky Irving was not at practice. We are brought to you by the great folks at On-Site Construction and Restoration. OnSiteConstructionFL.com is the website. Jason Fawcett is the owner. Good dude. Give them a call over there. They will come on out, look at your property, tell you what's possible in terms of restoration, maybe adding on. A lot of firms, construction firms do new building. Of course, On-Site Construction does that as well. But adding on to your home is a tricky thing. They've done over 1,400 jobs here locally. So let the experienced folks work on your home. OnSiteConstructionFL.com. JP here for Riveters, the official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. We're located just south of Ray J and Steinbrenner Field, so it's a great pre- and post-game spot, and the happy hour is amazing. Monday through Friday, $3 Bud Light drafts, $4 domestic bottles, $5 wells, $6 premium wells, $6 cocktails like margaritas. That's unheard of. And the Riveters food is freshly made daily. No freezers. Happy hour food specials include $3.50 taco dollars. You get edamame, your chips with the beer cheese, which is amazing. $8 buffalo chicken dip, my favorite. The truffle fries, chili cheese fries, also $8 at happy hour, as well as other specials throughout the week. Tacos and Wing Wednesdays, 7 o'clock to 1 a.m. in the morning. You get our amazing wings, 5 for $5 and $5 wells and wines. That's a good Wednesday night. So if you're tired of the preppy, overpriced, generic sports bars, come see the amazing, friendly bartenders and staff at Riveters, where customer service really matters. Riveters, we'll see you there. Experience the art of driving at Genesis of Tampa, where luxury meets innovation and every detail is crafted for you. From the bold G70 to the refined GV80, Genesis delivers power, elegance, and technology. Service online, and our Genesis Experience Advisors will pick you up and drop off your vehicle. If available, you can enjoy a courtesy car while yours gets a complimentary interior vacuum plus a generous offer for your trade. Every new plan, 10 years or 250,000 miles of powertrain warranty and 4 years of complimentary maintenance. Visit us at 801 East Bears Avenue or online at genesisoftampa.com. Redefined. Italiano Insurance would like to congratulate the Bucs on their 50th anniversary season. And you know what? We've been here for every season and then some, over 60 years in business. We've seen some smart coaches with great game plans, but if you don't have flood insurance or business insurance, that could ruin you financially. You don't want to take that L. So call 813-877-7799 and let their friendly agents quarterback your insurance and save you big money. Italiano also sponsors our FSU report every week. So go Noles, 899 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com. JP here for my friend Jason Fawcett, owner of On-Site Construction. They do residential and commercial renovations and new construction. As a leading home builder and general contractor, On-Site Construction prides itself on transforming homes through superior client vision and an unmatched commitment to quality and service. It's about building relationships. We take the time to understand our clients' needs, preferences, and budgets so that we can deliver a personalized experience tailored to their unique vision. From the initial designs to the final touches, where the end result mirrors your vision. Here are some testimonials from happy customers. G. Gibson says, no hidden costs, very honest, reliable, creative, and communicates well. Reasonable and fair with their pricing, no hidden costs. C. Smith said, did not disappoint. I'm very happy with the work. This company really cares and will take care of it. So if you're just thinking about building or renovating, 813-579-5789 or check out our website at onsiteconstructionfl.com. Are you having legal issues with a business partner or other legal business issues? The attorneys at Walters, Levine, and DeGrave can help. Call 800-616 consultation. At Walters, Levine, and DeGrave, we've redefined what a law firm can be with top-tier attorneys, personal service, and 26 years of success. From business law to to civil litigation, we deliver smart, client-focused solutions. Walters, Levine, and DeGrave recently won a $6.4 million real estate developer, and they can win for you too. Walters, Levine, and DeGrave. Let's solve it together. Not an attorney spokesman. For a free consultation, call 800-616-0384 or go to walterslevine.com. Offices Tampa, Sarasota.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Don'tGoUncovered.com. It is that time for open enrollment for health insurance. So if you're looking to see what's out there, Don'tGoUncovered.com is a great website. Look up the information there. They got a number, 800 number on there that you can call. And you don't want to be uncovered, folks, on health insurance because that could wreck you financially. So go get some coverage. They will take a little bit of your financial information and let you know what your subsidy might be and get you some insurance. I worked with them for 5 years and saved thousands and thousands of dollars. So they know Don'tGoUncovered.com is the website. Great agents there waiting to chat with you and hopefully save you money on your health insurance. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. Here's an interesting little tidbit from our good friend Nathan Elliott. Breaking news. Buccaneers have emailed season pass members in Lot 12 that the parking lot is closing next year. They want to send people who parked in Lot 12 to different parking lots.
So I just looked at a map of the Ray J parking areas. That looks to be a really, really tiny parking lot down by kind of the airport area down there.
That is the
maybe
campus.
Oh, is it? Because it's across the street from according to the map I looked at, it's across. Right.
Yeah, it's across Del Mabry, but that's on the HCC site.
So if this had to do with maybe a potential refurbishing of the area, so lot 13 is across the street over there on the site of the college. And then there's another one too. So wouldn't they have lumped all of those in together saying we need to relocate these parking areas?
Well,
or would they just go one at a time?
Well, he's just in lot 12. Why would, and I'm not sure that he would be told that 13 is also.
So this was specifically sent to people with passes to park. Oh, okay. I thought maybe it was just a general bullet.
Well, I would, since he's in lot 12. So they, then sense. The other people who are in lot, but if you're in lot 13 or others and you're getting the same notice, please let us know. Please let us know. But no, this is a significant development. So that's not going to be available for parking. So what's going to be going on the HCC campus next year that they can't use it for parking? Maybe a race stadium.
Here,
listen, I thought
show you what I was looking at here.
Okay. So I thought for a while, we've told you when they had the press conference last week or 2 weeks ago that we thought it was going to be HCC. This is just further confirmation that that's what we're looking at. Yeah, so you see where the stadium there's lot 12 over to, as you're looking at it, to the stadium's left, lower left. See there where the airport is there, where the little airplane thing is. So that's the entire HCC campus is right. 11, 12, 13.
Lot 11, HCC, HCC, IP.
All those are all
that. All right.
Not going to be available. So that means something else is going there.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Maybe a Starbucks.
Nathan Elliott says lot 12 land is owned by Tampa International and south of HCC. I've sent an email to my rep to get more details.
Please investigative report back to us, Nathan.
Yeah. So that's that airport spot will also be probably part of the development of the 100 acres. So interesting. Well, breaking news. Thank you there, Nathan Elliott. We appreciate that. Thomas says lot 12 was right on the auxiliary runway, formerly U.S. Air, with the old airport that was there. So there you go. And they said the HCC campus, there was additional. Hagan told us that the HCC is part of that. It's the main plot, but there's other parts that are owned by the airport, state, and I guess that's state land. It's all available to be
Right.
developed in whatever way they want to do that. So Nathan says the parking lot map you're showing makes lot 12 look smaller than it is.
Okay.
Your parking lot in your rearview mirrors. A lot of the lot was covered by trees, and that's all, and that has all been cleared. Yeah, making way for development. It appears to me. So interesting to note.
Either a Starbucks or a stadium.
Yeah. Lonnie Wilkins says, I'm assuming no Rays news right now is good news. It means folks are hard at work. Yes, I said that earlier, Lonnie. My last communication with the ownership group was I was asking them about some things that had popped up and, what their thoughts were. And they're like, we really don't want to comment on anything right now. We just want to get to work. So I think they're very, this is just my opinion. I think we know they've had conversations with HCC. Obviously, they've had plenty of conversations now with the TSA, all that. And I think, again, if you're looking at 2029, you need 100 acres. That is the most shovel-ready way to go. The EBOR is going to take a lot of, you got to acquire the land. Preparing the land might be a little bit more deep. Certainly, EBOR Harbor would take a lot longer. So and it's not big enough. So to me, all signs point towards HCC. And to arrest this point, when Dex Imaging was going to buy this thing many moons ago, this site has been considered for quite some time. And I think it's real interesting how it's all going to work with the Buccaneers and what they're planning to do as well. And I think there's got to be some symmetry there. I don't think these two groups would be working against each other. Although, I have heard that for obvious reasons, the Bucs wouldn't be thrilled to have competition right next door. But, it could be something that augments what you're doing. And it could be some shared expenses. Could be a lot of different things going on. I think the number one thing is that is a proven location in terms of egress, and it's a proven location in terms of middle of the market. So I think there's a lot of good stuff about it. I don't think it's iconic in any way.
Yeah.
Obviously, but because it's more of an industrial area. It's not on, it's not a downtown. It's not certainly not on the water, but I think it has a lot of other positives that would work. And it's easier and you can get it done. And I think there's a lot of advantages politically to the site of what you can build and how you can build. So I think that's a little tidbit that points us even more so towards HCC. All right. Are we still struggling? StreamYard? I think we should just.
And what I'm going to do, JP, we'll let everybody know. I'm going to repost as a video, not live video, the uninhibited video stream that I will pull out of my computer. That way we'll have because I don't want to pull down the live because we'll lose all the numbers and comments and all of that. So what I'll do is I'll just repost as a standard video the entirety of the show that is not choppy and breaking up and unable to be watched. So that way, if you guys want to go back and rewatch it, or if you want, you can listen to the podcast that I'll have up here probably by 1 p.m.
All right, there we go. Anything else we want to get out there?
I don't think so. Go Bucs.
All right. I do want to do one more thing. You will be pleased with this, Timmy. You know what it is. Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. Data brokers will get your name, contact info, social security number, home address, even information about your family members, and sell them to other folks online. That's not cool. The New York Times Wirecutter has named Delete Me their top pick for data removal services. So what do you got to do? Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at a special discount for our listeners. Get 20% off Delete Me as HIT and use the promo code HIT. The website is joindeleteme.com/hit. That's the only way to get the 20% off. Enter the code HIT at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/hit, code HIT. All right. That'll do it for us here. Sorry about the audio, video, all that.
It's always my fault.
It's Tim's fault.
Yep.
We're heading out to Buccaneer Place to chat with Todd Bowles and Baker Mayfield, see how he's doing. So catch up on our social media. We'll have the latest on that for you there. And we will see you hopefully tomorrow.
Yep.